Hey everybody, thank you for checking out another episode of Pop Culture Uncovered. Hey, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer finally dropped,
Ugh.
which ironically I saw weeks ago when I went to go see Hard Boiled in 4K at the Alamo Roadhouse, but the rest of you didn't get a chance to see it till this week. Having said that, I've got
Damn.
feelings and questions and thoughts and ideas, but as is typically the case, because considering how verbose I am, let's go to somebody who can be much more succinct and erudite in communicating his ideas in a structured fashion. So, Pete, you've had an opportunity to watch the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. What are your thoughts in response to what you saw?
I don't even know. I'll expound. I don't even know. I think my issue with this latest trailer is the same that I've had with everything that we've seen, which is I don't know how to make my head understand how the Mandalorian works on the big screen. It's going to be like I feel like it's kind of true though. If I think back of pretty much anything that goes from TV to a movie, it feels like everything just sort of rests on that moment. I'm thinking all the way back to like the Rugrats movie. Thinking back to Transformers the movie, which we talked about on a previous podcast. It's that we just haven't seen this. I feel like the Mandalorian, it just sort of fizzled to the end of the last story. It left some ominous tones, but like it's been long enough that I've sort of forgotten some of the things that were set up by it. And then Ahsoka, this series really took us in a very different direction with these characters that are all sort of loosely tied together throughout the different series that we've seen. So man, I just don't know if it will be good, but I'm excited to see the big Dave Filoni, attempt, because this is him in the movie theater now.
No, you're right, and to me, it's huge stakes because the argument for years now has been Kathleen Kennedy was the agent of the apocalypse for Star Wars, and if only she was removed, then everything would be great. And I'm like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a film that I feel like has a lot of built-in inherent challenges, and whether or not it succeeds, I think is going to be a huge commentary on Dave Filoni, but really on Disney's ownership of Star Wars. But in terms of the structure, my structural issues with the movie, and we kind of talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. It's we're retreading the same ground over and over again, and so it's like I know watching this, I'm like I know Din Djarin and Grogu have absolutely nothing to do with any of
Yeah,
the subsequent stuff that's come
yeah,
out, and so it's the hero's journey matters. You have to feel like you're going with the hero on an adventure that's consequential. I mean, if for this type of storytelling, because it's not a drama, it's this is summertime popcorn action movies. So you gotta, John Wick starts off with they killed his dog. It ends with he killed everybody who was involved with killing his dog, and so I guess for me it's that there's some aspects of it being a retread. Like I know you've got Johnny Coyne playing an Imperial warlord. That's kind of how we started off. We had Herner Wartzog playing, an Imperial warlord who was looking for Grogu. That was the first season. So it's still kind of like the Imperial remnant thing. And I'm like, and I know this is, Star Wars, extended universe guy. But I'm like, I'm gonna do the Imperial Remnant, and I'm like, with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, like all the stuff that they did with it. And I guess I don't know how Thrawn plays into this because I guess it's for me all that stuff is you have to tie it all together. And lastly, I guess the Mandalorian was successful because I feel like for 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes for a whole episode, you really got the impression that you were watching a Star Wars movie on television.
hmm
And I don't know if they have the space to do something that cinematic or interesting. And the other thing is, we've only seen the Mandalorian in television, and you have a lot of time to do character development and breakdowns. So I mean, I think about stuff like the episodes I constantly like go back to rewatch, like the spaceship prison jailbreak episode out of season one.
hmm
Just things like that. It's like how
The
many
Water Planet season. to
Yeah, I mean,
anything Bryce Dallas Howard directed.
yeah, I mean the death of Paz Vizsla, um, all these great moments, and I'm kind of like, but look how long it took for us to get to a place where Paz Vizsla was a character whose death was something that we were genuinely mournful over. We went through
Mm-hmm.
through 2 full seasons not caring. Then then Jaren saves his son. A bond gets developed. Paz Vizsla speaks for Din Djarin at an important moment, and kind of brings the Mandalorians full circle in terms of he's willing to embrace, Botan Kryze when he wasn't before, because he realizes even though our backgrounds are different, we're both Mandalorians and we're one people.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I'm saying is, season 3 to me was the movie. If I was going to make the Mandalorian and Grogu into a television show, that's what I'm doing, because anything else I'm doing subsequently, it's like so we're not getting Jabba the Hutt, we're getting Rhoda the Hutt. We're kind of retreading a lot of space, and I'll say this and I'll give it to you. If I'm gonna go back to do Rhoda the Hutt, and I'm like, what was the point of the Book of Boba Fett? Because the Book of Boba Fett ended with him being in charge of crime on Tatooine, right? So if the Hutts are back in charge again, you wasted my time for a whole season of television for a story that went absolutely nowhere, which they might not even address where the hell Boba Fett is by the time we get to Din Djarin's conversation with the Hutts.
It's so tricky because I mean, well, the Hutts have domain over several planets, including their own, and they're a large crime family like the Syndicate, so they have their little flappy arms and everything. So it could be completely unrelated to Tatooine. I kind of hope it is unrelated to Book of Boba Fett. And this is the tricky part about, like, you want fan favorites to show up in the movie that you finally make about the TV show. You don't want to leave characters out. It's fun, but then how many people we've already had? The Mandalorian in particular is full of the let's gather all the troops that we met at the beginning of this season, and let's get them all together at the end of the season. It's like Stranger Things every single time, and so how many people do you bring up from the show? How many new cameos do you drop in to keep it fresh? That's gonna be. It's like, I don't know. It's like building a stew. Like you don't really know which of these ingredients are going to trade out well. And when I think of that, I also think of Grief Karga having to be replaced with the passing of Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Is Sigourney Weaver sort of filling that role? I like her in everything. It's just she can do no wrong. She's amazing in sci-fi. This is a franchise she has not been a part of. And I'm like, she just can't. It would be hard for her to be the weak link in any part of this movie in any sense.
I'm sorry, you just gave me a thought of Sigourney Weaver playing Princess Leia, and I'm like, that's probably the only other actress that I can think of that could have pulled that role off, besides Carrie Fisher, like the two of them for their time period. Yeah. Um, I don't know, man. I guess my thing again is it's very much about being a Star Wars fan. It's just I feel like I'm constantly going back into the same space, into the same
Mm-hmm.
time period, and so it's ironic that I, somebody who was vehemently not a fan of episodes 8 and 9, I am looking at this untitled New Jedi Order film with Rey as the Star Wars project that I'm the most interested in, because I don't know where that story's going, and that alone makes it interesting as hell. Where I'm kind of
Yeah,
like, even for Mandalorian and Grogu, I was like, they're back flying a Razor Crest. I'm like, what? What?
yeah, that
I was like, what happened to
that
the
part's
Naboo fight?
confusing.
I had just gotten to a place emotionally where I was like, oh, I like the Naboo fighter. Like,
It took
it's
me a long exactly. It took me a minute to like be okay with this at all. Yeah,
so so
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, now I guess for me personally, this bodes well for me because I have a complete inbox, um, Star Wars Lego Razor Crest, set. So now that I can put that on eBay when the movie drops and be like, you like the Razor Crest? You forget that little Naboo fighter. We back to flying the big girl.
Put my kids through college with your needs. See, somebody's buying it, Armand. We keep saying it.
yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah. Thanks to eBay, there's a sucker born every minute. including me. Because if you saw the omnibuses I purchased in the last couple of months, thankfully I'm not buying any of the Star Wars ones, or otherwise I would be in poverty. But so we'll have to see. I mean, I will say this. To be fair, this trailer really does not include any real story beats. We really don't
Nope.
understand the story. So
Which I'm perfectly fine with, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's a sizzle reel, and I mean, like the movie doesn't drop till May, and I
Mm,
guess I'm
all
also
right.
kind of like this. The best Star Wars movies are the ones where you really kind of don't tell them everything. I go back to the trailer for the Phantom Menace, and I'm like, for however I might not have been 100% on board with that movie when it came out, the trailer was freaking perfect. Like it was
Oh
like
yeah.
it was edited so perfectly that I was like, I know just enough about the plot but I don't understand all of it. But it's what I just saw on the screen is absolutely amazing, and I don't give a crap how it plays out. So I should say this lastly, at least for me, and then I'll give it to you for closing. I really do hope the Mandalorian and Grogu does well. I do not want to come off as being one of these Star Wars fans who are like, I just want it all to fail for Lucas to always be right. No, I want to have good Star Wars. I want to have people who care about the franchise, who are committed to telling great stories in that space. The same way I am with my comics. Like I love Chris Claremont. He had his run on X Men. There are other people writing it and putting their mark on it. I'm always rooting for it because I'm always looking for an excuse to buy X Men. I'm always looking for an excuse to get back to Star Wars. So I'm hoping that this and Star Wars Starfighter that doesn't drop till May 28th, 2027, which is kind of cool because it means we're at least getting back to back Star Wars movies in May. Mandalorian and Grogu May 22nd this year, Starfighter next year May 28th. Um, I hope it goes well. Because I really would like to see more. Um, and I mean, I guess that's the best thing you can say about Star Wars, right? For wherever we find ourselves at, and I consider myself to be a jaded fan. I'm like, if it's good, I'm gonna be there. Like it's not even a debate. I might walk in begrudgingly, but you're also talking to somebody who I did the Star Wars marathon when The Force Awakens came out. I literally went to a movie theater at 3 o'clock in the morning and proceeded to watch every single movie all the way up until The Force Awakens dropped. So can't act like I'm not in love with it. I'm just bitter. Pete, you got any closing ideas that you wanted to share with us before we
Well,
roll
see,
out?
now you bring up a point that ties it all together for me, which is that I just tired of being that kind of fan. Like I understand, being so frustrated about Star Wars, but like at the end of the day, it's the things that you love still exist, and the things that you don't like, you never have to watch again. And so, yeah, not only do I hope I like this, but I expect to at least enjoy it. I'm definitely not going to the movies to see this to have a bad time. And if it's disappointing, then it was kind of like the last season of The Mandalorian. But I watched all of that and I was like, that's pretty cool. Because there's always something about Star Wars that's cool. There's always something about the last thing about Star Wars that was cool. It could just be the ships. It could just be the costumes. It could just be like one character played by a really good actor. And they're like, you know what? There's something of every single part of the franchise that I think I enjoy. I hope I enjoy a lot about this. But even if it sucks, it's fine. There's a lot of Star Wars to choose from, so I'm looking forward to this.
All right, well, we will find out the results of the first Dave Filoni full-fledged film on May 22nd when we get The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I'll just say in closing, I hate the title. I hate the title of the movie.
Yeah,
And they really could have done a better job. It really was so basic. I was just like, were you scared? Considering the fact that Grogu became one of the most popular Disney characters of all freaking time. I took my kids to Disney World, and The Mandalorian hadn't even been out for 2 seasons yet. And every single human being I saw was wearing a Grogu shirt or a Mandalorian shirt. Were you scared that there wouldn't be enough market appeal if you didn't name it The Mandalorian and Grogu? I could have named it Lone Wolf and Cub in Space, or Steel Helmet Man and his small child. And all I would have taken would be the image of the two of them, and everybody would have been like, and I'm there. So y'all could have given me a better title. But I hope the movie's good. So for Pete, this is Armand. We'll be waiting with bated breath until the 22nd. I can absolutely guarantee you we will probably have a same day review because I know Pete and I are the type of people to take a day off work to go see a Star Wars movie. So you can be on the lookout for that. Please check us out at popcultureuncovered.com. Please check out our Patreon, which has our exclusive member only episodes in addition to our archives as well. Hope you have a good time. May the force be with you. May this movie not be whack. May Filoni be as powerful as we think he is. May all hope be well. And may Kathleen Kennedy's, the slander on her name, be alleviated with the success of this project. Peace.